Squachill, good morning, and welcome to the Daily Sovereign Report for today, Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. I'm your host, Aaron Thomas. Hauhitan is my hereditary name. And this morning, we are diving deep into the major court rulings, legislative updates, and sovereignty milestones shaping Indian country today. Our first story this morning brings us out to Utah. According to Native News Online, President Donald Trump signed a proclamation stripping protections from the Bears Ears National Monument. This action slashes the protected area by nearly 1.24 million acres. A coalition of tribal nations, including the Navajo, Hopi, Zuni, and Ute tribes, are preparing an immediate legal fight. Now, why does this matter to tribes? Because this expansion opens up sacred ancestral lands to mining and drilling without tribal consent. And why does it matter to sovereignty? It directly challenges co management agreements between sovereign nations and the federal government, threatening a tribe's inherent right to protect its own homeland. Next, we look at the 6th-year anniversary of the historic Supreme Court decision McGirt versus Oklahoma. According to reporting by Native News Online and KGOU Public Radio, tribal justice systems are expanding at a rapid pace to meet their restored jurisdictions. For example, the Choctaw Nation's law enforcement caseload has jumped by 1,000%. Meanwhile, the Cherokee Nation is building a $40 million justice center to permanently house its Supreme Court. Now, this matters to tribes because it proves indigenous communities have the operational strength and resources to keep their people safe without relying on state systems. And it matters to sovereignty because it asserts that reservation boundaries are fully intact, confirming tribal governments as the primary legal authority on their own land. Now, out to New York. According to Native News Online, the Tonawanda Seneca Nation, alongside the Sierra Club, has filed a lawsuit in the New York State Supreme Court. They are challenging a zoning agreement at a local industrial park. They argue that the agreement unlawfully bypasses local town zoning powers to force heavy industrial projects and hyperscale data centers right next to ancestral territories. For tribes, this is about health and culture. It's the only way to protect fragile ecosystems and wildlife refuges from destructive noise and pollution. And for sovereignty, it represents the absolute right of a tribe to have a say in what happens to the environment directly bordering their nation. They are standing up to stop municipalities from illegally zoning away local safeguards. We also have a major win in education sovereignty this morning. According to Indian Country Today, new programmatic improvements in innovative instruction have fueled a significant jump in Native American graduation rates at federally funded tribal schools nationwide. Now, this matters to tribes because it ensures our youth are completing high school at higher rates, equipping the next generation to serve their communities. And it matters to sovereignty because academic success rooted in tribal identity enables educational self determination, preparing youth to step directly into leadership, policy, and roles of nation building. And now for our deep dive into infrastructure and utility sovereignty. According to reporting from Political Pro and Candace Incorporated, the Bureau of Land Management has approved a 50-year right-of-way permit. This will convert a 220-mile gas pipeline into a water pipeline in the Mojave Desert. The project is in partnership with the Lighton Rancheria of California to convey water from the Mojave groundwater bank. However, neighboring tribes and environmentalists are fighting the decision. They warn that the pipeline could overdraft a sensitive desert aquifer at 25 times its natural recharge rate. This utility project shines a light on the complexities of infrastructure. While one sovereign tribe leverages a partnership for economic progress, neighboring tribes are asserting their own rights to protect the aquifer. It shows that energy and water sovereignty often intersect with regional environmental justice. Meanwhile, the Bureau of Indian Affairs has a major deadline and a new digital system. According to the BIA, the window for the $6.8 million Tribal Energy Development Capacity Grant closes tomorrow on July 16th. This funding allows tribes to build the business, and legal framework needed to regulate and develop their own energy resources. Instead of relying on outside energy giants, these grants empower tribes to establish their own utilities, paving the path to true energy independence. And according to the Department of Interior, a new digital system called eNative Trust has officially launched. This platform replaces an outdated paper based probate system. Now, beneficiaries can report deaths, upload documents, and track trust land transfers in real time. By cutting through federal red tape, it hands direct control of trust lands back to American Indian and Alaska Native families much faster. All right, it's the middle of the week. Let's check in on the weather forecast for tribal lands in the Northeast and North and New England areas, particularly the Lake Champlain Basin. Heat advisories are active. Expect severe thunderstorms with damaging winds, heavy downpours, and frequent lightning. Further south across the Texas and Oklahoma tribal jurisdictions, severe thunderstorms capable of producing isolated tornadoes, large hail, and strong winds are moving northeast. And it is extremely warm here in the Southwest in Southern California. We're supposed to expect highs in the 110s. Now, local leadership and energy management teams should have community shelter plans ready. For tribal leaders looking to engage and connect here, there are some three key upcoming events. First, the Asta Dafis Tribal Exclusive Webinar occurs virtually on July 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern. The focus is on agricultural safety and emergency response to the New World screwworm threat. Second, the DOJ Bureau of Justice grants tribal consultation will be held virtually on August 5th and 6th. The registration deadline is August 3rd and will focus on the consolidation of federal justice grants. And finally, save the date for the NCAI 83rd Annual Convention Marketplace happening in person from October 18th to the 22nd right here in Palm Springs, California. All right, you guys, that'll do it as we are nearing the last part of this week. That's all we have for this morning on this edition of the Daily Sovereignty Report. Stay strong, stay sovereign, and we'll see you next time tomorrow morning on another Daily Sovereignty Report.